Hi everyone, this is Matt recording my second YouTube video in my series of new standard decks thanks to Theros Beyond Death. I have kind of a crazy brew that I've been playing around with here. It is a Season of Growth enchantment deck. So let me go through some of the key cards and how they interact with each other. All Set of Life's Bounty is there to protect your other creatures. So once you have 1 mana open, you can sacrifice this to give a creature protection from the color of your choice. Karametra's Blessing is a really powerful card. Not only is it a pump spell, but it also gives your enchantments or enchanted creatures indestructible. Sentinel's Eyes is a recursive aura that's incredibly good with Paradise Druid. That's a nice hexproof combination. And Transcendent Envoy is both a cheap creature that is an enchantment and a card that helps power your engine by making your other enchantments cheaper. I'm playing around with some Bronzehide Lion. This card is really good against aggro decks, and the fact that it does come back as an enchantment works really nicely. All That Glitters is your bread and butter card. Once you've got 1 or 2 of these on the battlefield, it's pretty easy to just run over your opponent. Season of Growth is part of your engine. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature, you're going to draw a card, so every aura is also drawing you a card. Station Training allows you to get over some ground creatures once you've got your creatures nice and large. Warbriar Blessing is a new card that allows you to fight some troublesome creatures from the opposing decks, like Innkeepers or other small creatures. And Station Champion is the other part of your engine. Not only does this grow every time you cast an enchantment, but you'll continue to draw cards that will further power your engine. 1 Castle Ardenvale to make sure we always have a creature available to attach our auras to. And the sideboard, a couple more Karametra's Blessing, really good against decks that have targeted removal. Mystic Repeal for other enchantment decks. Warbriar Blessing helps a lot with the aggro matchup. Bronzehide Lion, again, for aggro. Siona is great where it's helpful to go wide, and it generates a lot of advantage against control decks. You really only need to commit 1 creature, and then each aura is going to make you another 1/1. And Archon of Sun's Grace can help with a little bit of life gain against some of the more aggressive decks. All right, let's take it to the ladder and see how we do. So I've played about 5 matches with various versions of this deck, and once it gets going, it is really powerful and it tends to run away very quickly. The only issue I've really run into is if you do not have a creature, your deck doesn't really do anything. I've had a few handfuls of enchantments, and that's one of the reasons I've upped my creature count a little bit and added Castle Ardenvale, so we can get rid of that problem. This hand isn't great, as we don't have any enchantments, but it does have a few of our key creatures, and it's definitely good enough to keep. So it looks like we're playing one of the mono black decks. These have been really popular since the set release. Usually they have Gray Merchant at the top end to drain you for a whole bunch, and they take advantage of the Nightmare Shepherd to copy their creatures when they die. So I think the Bronzehide Lion is going to do some work here, stemming a little bit of the bleeding. Unfortunately, we won't be able to block the Net of the Ebon Legion, but we can, at the very least, get rid of one of these gutter bones, albeit temporarily. All right. And if this creature sticks, we can start fighting some of their creatures and get our engine really going with the Season of Growth. That is a scary attack. Well, we definitely can't block the Knight of Ebon Legion. If they have the 3/1 Flash, that gives Death Touch and Lifelink. Really, none of our blocks are any good. I think our creature is just too important to block with here, unfortunately. So we're going to take the damage. Looks like they're thinking about pumping or playing the 3-1. They've chosen to pump and maybe save the 3-1, which I'm assuming they have as their last card, for another turn. Here, we can start to take care of some of their troublesome creatures, though. So the first one we're going to get rid of is definitely Knight of Ebon Legion. And now we're in an okay spot. Unfortunately, if they do have the 3-1 flash... Oh, Murder Shark. Okay. So we could draw this, but it doesn't do much for us. Not too many cards do. We're going to bottom that. We'll play this Attachment Training. And unfortunately they're going to take game 1, but post board we have some tools against aggro. Alright. So our Archon of Sun's Grace is definitely coming in, as are the other 2 Bronze-Eyed Lions. We're going to cut a couple of the Paradise Druids and a couple of the Season of Growths. Actually, we can get rid of all of those because they are way too slow for this matchup. And I think the Karametra's Blessings will be really good against some of their targeted removal. And the Warbriar Blessing is definitely a helpful card. So our last cut is probably our Cetacean Training. I think this looks good. Alright. Being on the play is certainly helpful, and this is a great hand. We are going to shock here, actually. Obviously, preserving life is important, but since I only have 1 white source, this is really the only way I can get these onto the battlefield in any reasonable time frame. And the lifelink on it is very helpful. I think we are going to just maximize our mana here. Go ahead and take out their only creature and attack for some extra life gain. Alright, and they have no follow-up play. So we'll keep gaining life. And now we can protect our creatures as well. An interesting thing to consider would be if we want to play this out on 3 without any protection, or hold it. Since I have 2 of them, I'm much more likely to play it out on 3, even if they do have a removal spell for it. And we're going to try to build up our life linker to a point where eventually it can just block the Rotting Regisaur. In the meantime, we'll let them discard a few cards. And obviously we're always worried about Embercleave. Here we're at high enough life total that we don't have to worry right away, but it should be something we consider. To note, we don't want to chump block because unfortunately that is going to shrink our other Outside of Life's Bounty, as the All That Glitters will see 1 less enchantment. So we do have to take here. one option to consider would be to take out... well, unfortunately, I don't think that works for us any longer. I was going to say we could take out the Regisaur with this one. Now we have a potential to combo Karametra's Blessing and Warbriar Blessing. I think our best bet is actually to attack and play this Attaching Champion and then go off on the next turn. So we'll gain some additional life back here. And we are out of Embercleave range again. I do also like that they are discarding their hand away. So I think the play here is to take out the Knight of Ebon Legion and then leave this up as a blocker with the potential to go indestructible. And actually, we can even start attacking here because there is no way for them to Embercleave us on the next turn. And the life gain is making it really hard for them to race. Their final card is another Rotting Regisaur. And this is going to work out pretty well for us. We can give our creature trample, attack, and make it indestructible. That will put us well out of range for them to kill us, and don't know that they'll be able to actually get rid of our creature either. Puts a lot of pressure on them. I think that's stronger than playing this and waiting. Although this will really get our draw engine online. So we'll play it a little bit slower. Keep our blocker back. And next turn we'll start to go off. And really the only card that we care about at this point is Embercleave. So as long as they're not drawing that, we are in really good shape. Another chance to slow down a little bit. That would allow them to hit us with the Knight of the Ebon Legion if we want. Otherwise, we can put some trample on this and give it indestructible. Again, the only card that can really get us is Embercleave, and we have the ability to block in a way that we should not lose to it. So I'm okay taking one more turn to set up. And taking 4 damage here is not a big deal. Nor is the Stormfist Crusader. Alright, at this point, it is time to start getting in there. And actually, we have the kill right now, so no need to get fancy. Go ahead and pump that. And Attaching Training will do it. Okay, our configuration is good both on the play and on the draw here. I don't think there's any other cards we should consider. Potentially creating a stream of 1/1 blockers could be something useful. In that case, we probably cut us Attaching Training. think I like our lower to the ground setup with just the Archon on the top end though. So we're gonna stick with this. Obviously, being on the draw against aggressive decks is a lot harder to win from that position. Ideally, we're looking to draw some of our Warbriar Blessings to get rid of some of their early creatures, and then the life linkers are key to keeping us in a longer game so that we can keep our life total out of Embercleave ranges. That is usually the card that will do you in. The Stormfist Crusader is a really strong card for Rakdos Knights on the play. So that's a card we're looking to either get rid of or hope they don't draw early on. Save some life here by getting that intact. We can use a combination of Paradise Druid, Sentinel's Eyes, and Warbriar Blessing. Start taking out some of their creatures. And them not having a play on turn 2, probably they're holding up Stomp, so the Paradise Druid is a really nice one there, even though typically it's not the strongest against an aggro deck. And once we get the Sentinel's Eyes on the Paradise Druid, not only will it be permanently hexproof, but we can even use Karametra's Blessing to successfully block with them. So the Regisaur is a tough creature to deal with. I think our best bet here is to get our Sentinel's Eyes going. And take out the Knight of Ebon Legion while we can. Now, I think tapping our Paradise Druid is probably a mistake. Although if there are no cards that I can think of that would kill it with the higher toughness, it's at 5 toughness now, we might be okay to do so. In which case, we might want to take this opportunity to get down the outside of Life's Bounty. And I think, from what I've seen, Stomp is their main way to deal with creatures. So I'm going to take the risk and tap our Paradise Druid and hope it does not backfire. And if we can come out of this turn relatively unscathed, I think we should be able to mitigate this Rotting Regisaur. The fact that they threw away an Embercleave is a little bit troubling. They did have the Stomp that we were expecting. So another Sentinel's Eyes. This, if they're not able to Embercleave this turn, will allow us to take out the Rotting Regisaur. If they have another land or a Fervent Champion and Embercleave, we are in trouble. Another option is to block the Knight of Ebon Legion, make them pump, and then Karametra's Blessing. That does leave them with the Regisaur in play though, and we have no good way to deal with that. I think we're better off taking out the Regisaur. And it looks like we're going to be running back the same play. We can attack here, potentially getting in for free damage or just trading off now to avoid having to do it on our turn. They should take this trade. That will allow them to not have to discard their last card. Obviously, they don't know that we have Karametra's Blessing, but I think it's a reasonable assumption. I guess the fact that their last card was Gutter Bones makes it a little bit less bad to avoid taking the trade there. We are going to run back that same exact play. We're going to need some action now, though. Unfortunately, we've had a few turns where we haven't really advanced our board, and with only the one Paradise Druid, we're not generating as much pressure as we would like. We are very rich in Karametra's Blessings, however. So I think what this turn looks like actually is they attack with the Knight of the Ebon Legion. We block, they pump, we Karametra's Blessing, and then we can swing in on our turn. And that's a pretty nice outcome for us. And now they are kind of in trouble. We're going to get them down to 2 here, and our Paradise Druid does have Vigilance. The Cetacean Champion is also a nice draw. Now it's going to turn a lot of our future draws into additional cards. So we've navigated this game pretty well to get to a favorable position. Yeah, it looks like they're just in chump block mode. I believe we can attack with both, putting them down to 1. The only way that backfires is if they can flash in the 3/1, and quite honestly, I'm not even sure they play that card anymore. Although I don't really know of any upgrades for Rakdos Knights. I think if they have the 3/1, this does maximally punish us, but anything else in hand, and we are making the right attack to put them to 1, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And they did have to chump. Alright, so we were able to score the victory with the Season of Growth Enchantments deck. It is a fun one. I would encourage you to try it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any upgrades or suggestions. The list is very much a rough list, and I hope you find some success with it. Thanks for watching. Bye.